Hello everyone, my name is Fanta, and you are watching Fantavision. Today we're discussing something that a lot of people probably don't really think of, and that's exactly why I knew I had to make this video, because Red Dead Redemption 2, let's move this stone glass out of the way, Red Dead Redemption 2 looks great, because it's a Rockstar game. Everybody trusts Rockstar, because they have an impeccable repertoire of games. They've got LA Noire, which was the worst choice I could have picked for examples, but you know what? It wasn't bad, and they kind of didn't make it. They produced it. Why did I mention that? Anyway, they made the Grand Theft Auto series. I don't need to say anything else. They made the Grand Theft Auto series, and they've made the Red Dead series something amazing. Now, Red Dead Redemption, the first one, by far, one of my most favorite games of all time. I loved the shooting, I loved the story, I loved the online, I loved the little mini games, I loved all the little tiny things that were happening along the road, like camps and cannibals and just crazy stuff. And I loved it. It was such a great game. Grand Theft Auto 4, which I don't have in my hands right now. I'm not even going to put the picture there. I'm just holding my hands up at this moment. Grand Theft Auto 4, probably my favorite. It is my favorite Grand Theft Auto game. I know that that's kind of a weird one in the series to have as my favorite. I have a lot of nostalgic memories for Vice City. I never played San Andreas. I've played a little bit recently. Just a little bit, smidge. So I don't have the nostalgia factor everyone else does. Vice City, still somewhat enjoyable. I wish they'd put it on the Vita or something so I could play it later on down the road. That's a game I wish they remastered, but the graphics, the gunplay, they get to me, you know? I mean, I know games aren't about the graphics, but open world games, they really benefit from having better graphics. So, yeah, I love Vice City, I love the music, I love the weapons. The storyline's pretty interesting, the things you can do on the side, but Grand Theft Auto 4 has all that. They have all the same things on the side. You can be a cop, you can drive a fire truck, you can be a taxi driver, you can walk into internet cafes, you can walk into the fast food restaurants. There's so many places you can go, things you can do, and I love the game for that. The online multiplayer, a lot of people complain oh, there's really not that much to do. But they had game types, and they also had free roam, like a true freaking free roam, where you could turn off the cops and do whatever you wanted. I spent so many freaking hours on multiplayer just playing with my friends. We'd make up our own games, and that's why it was so much fun. We could make up our own games. We had this game at the airport where you start from one end, and then you have to make it to the other, and there's a whole bunch of you, and there's two helicopters, and they're trying to knock you off of the track into the water, kill you, whatever they can do to stop you from reaching that end goal. And that was so much fun. We did that for hours. We taught other people in other servers how to do that. Time of my life, loved that game. Constantly searching for the best cars, only to have you find one, and now they're spawning everywhere because you're in it. I love that game. It's such a fantastic game. The storyline was brutal. Oh man, there were so many points of levity in Grand Theft Auto 5. Even though it was a pretty, I mean, it wasn't a dark storyline. It wasn't happy, but it always had that bright undertone of sarcastic, dark humor in Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 4, you feel like shit while you're playing it. You're getting pictures of people kidnapped, there's people dying, main characters die, there's twists and betrayal, and there's so much plot, there's so many things going on, and it's fantastic. You get this environment with vibrant living characters like Nico, or Roman, who's always asking his cousin Nico if he wants to go bowling, and that's something I never felt with Grand Theft Auto 5. And where am I going with this? Why am I now talking about Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5? And what does that have to do with Red Dead Redemption? And I'll tell you, it's because this is the new Rockstar. You may be thinking, well, Fanta, Grand Theft Auto 5 was fantastic. What do you mean? It got like 10s out of 10s, 9, 9.5. People play this game. The people still buy this game for $60. This is one of the best-selling games of all time. One of the most money-making games of all time because of the microtransactions, the constant updates that keeps players hooked. Why am I worried about this new Rockstar? Isn't this new Rockstar perfect? Aren't they perfect? No, they're not at all. In my opinion, I am the minority here. I'm going to be straight up right now. I'm in the minority that Grand Theft Auto 4 is better than Grand Theft Auto 5. There's so many great things about Grand Theft Auto 5. Don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic game. It's a Fanta-tastic game. But it just didn't feel the same as 4. It didn't have all the mini games, all the side things that I loved about Grand Theft Auto. The things you could do just to kill time. You can't play taxi. You can't be a cop. You can't drive a fire truck. You can't drive an ambulance. I forgot the ambulance one. That was great. You can't do those little things. And those little things added a certain charm to the game that this one doesn't have. And there's so many buildings in this game you can't go into. I mean, there are some, but most of them you can't. And in Grand Theft Auto 4, there were tons of buildings you can go into. It was crazy. It was awesome. You see a Cluckin' Bell or Burger Shot or whatever's in this game, I don't remember because you couldn't go into them, so I don't remember. I remember so many cool shootouts in one of those different restaurants. I remember going into a hospital and having a holdout at the end of the hallway, like 300, having all the cops going into one small tiny space, throwing grenades down it, and you just kept getting to 5 stars and they could barely kill you. They'd occasionally take you out, but it was so difficult. There's just so many little moments that were not in Grand Theft Auto 5. When you played online in Grand Theft Auto 5, it always felt like they were really trying to sell you something. They really wanted you to buy that new vehicle because you really wanted it. You really want that flying motorcycle, that car with machine guns on it. And you can tell me all day, oh, it's so easy to get money, Fanta. But when you're earning money in this game, I don't know about you, but it felt like I was working. It felt like I was working for digital money. Like the cocaine factory makes a ton of money, but you know what? It takes a lot of work. And those missions were not fun. They're just grindy ass missions because 2K pictures us as aquatic animals. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they call players that spend a lot of money whales. This is a common theme in free-to-play games or any microtransaction-based game. This is what they call their customers. Whales spend tons of money. Dolphins will spend some money. And then minnows spend nothing. So we're all aquatic sea creatures to these people. And it started to show in Grand Theft Auto 5. I felt it. I loved all the constant updates. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about that. The heists were free. But they weren't at the same time. You also needed a high-rise apartment. They did give away a lot of money, not to me, but to my roommates, because whenever they gave away money, they decided to either give me nothing or give me a couple $100 while they got hundreds of thousands for free. That was really stupid. But that's not why I'm frustrated with Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm frustrated because whenever I get on, I feel like I have to work. I feel like I have to go get that other car and sell it. And then that itself is work because you're so stressed out trying to get that car to the sales point without it taking any damage because you have to pay for those damages. In Grand Theft Auto 4, yes, you could tell me that the online got boring because there's no fixed objectives. But you could get any weapon at any time. You just had to drive to the part of the map that had it, pick it up, you got it. That's yours. You could turn off the cops. You could toggle things. You could change what time of day it was. You could change the weather. You could do so many different things. Why can you not do that in Grand Theft Auto 5? If I'm wrong, for the love of God, tell me, because I've not been enjoying this online anymore. Whenever I get on, it feels like work. And the load times, God, those are awful. But I think Grand Theft Auto 4 also had pretty bad load times, so I can't fault it for that. The main thing I am worried about are the details. And that's what Grand Theft Auto 5 was missing. Were the beautiful, wonderful, intricate little details that really made Grand Theft Auto 4 special to me. Something that kept bringing me back to that world. And it didn't feel like a living, breathing world in Grand Theft Auto 5. Even the fighting. Even you punch somebody in the face a couple times, like maybe once or twice in Grand Theft Auto 5 and they fall down. Nobody really fights back. Occasionally they'll try to throw a punch, but there's no real fight system. You shoot people, they kind of react to it. I mean, it's the detail of shooting, the detail of everything in Grand Theft Auto 4 was just, perfect. I mean, you kill somebody, and an ambulance comes up, and if you didn't really kill them, like you didn't shoot them in the face 1,000 times, they could revive them. And you'd see those people get back up and go on their merry way. Or get loaded into the ambulance and take to the hospital. You'd see cars get into car accidents, get out of the car, interact. Sometimes they get in fights, and then an ambulance would pull up, cops would pull up. In this game, the cops shoot you for nothing. People hate you for nothing. You stand near somebody, they start yelling at you for no reason. You can walk down the street with a machine gun in Grand Theft Auto 4. It's fine. It's fine. And I know that part isn't realistic, but just standing near someone, not even holding a weapon, really? Why are people getting pissed? There's all these little things that were missing from Grand Theft Auto 5. And I know I noticed them when I was playing it, but I didn't completely notice it until I watched a video of somebody else pointing out every single thing that was missing from Grand Theft Auto 5. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, he's right. There was something that was missing, and I always knew it, but I couldn't completely pinpoint what was wrong. And I did notice the buildings. I noticed a lot of those things on my own, but the little details, not even just the side activities you couldn't do anymore, but the little details of how people reacted when you shot them, how everything worked. The whole engine is completely different. I will give that game, though, the driving is so much better in 5. Oh my god, I was playing 4 again recently. Driving sucks, but 5 fixed that a lot. But that's it. That's all it fixed. Like, the graphics are better, sure, but the graphics really weren't that bad. Playing Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PC, they still look pretty good. Now, mind you, they didn't optimize that game at all, so it runs like crap, even though I have a 1080, and the lights flicker, and ugh. But there's just so many details missing, and I feel like, I know I went way too long about Grand Theft Auto, but it all has to do with Red Dead Redemption. I know I took forever to talk about the differences, but that's why I'm afraid of this Rockstar nowadays. I know I'm holding the wrong game now, but that Rockstar nowadays, because this Rockstar had poker, they had the random events, they had liar's dice, they created a freaking zombie DLC. Where was my single player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5? Can you imagine if they made a zombie DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5? That'd sell like hotcakes. But you know what? They have to put effort into that. When they can make a new car, sell it for a couple mil, and have people spend money on virtual currency. And you know, I can't fault them for making easy money. But, God, I miss the old Rockstar. The Ballad of Gay Tony was so cool. So many great new missions. So many cool new weapons. Great new fleshed out characters. The Lost in the Damned, that was not bad. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it was still another new story I got to have in that city. I got to meet new characters. Grand Theft Auto 5, yes, you get 3 characters to start with, but everybody was asking for story DLC. But as soon as I saw the microtransactions, I knew it wasn't going to happen. The zombie mode in this was crazy. The online mode was so much fun. I'm really worried for it. I really am. I know it'll be a great game. Don't get me wrong. I know Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be great. But it's not going to have the charm of this game. At least I don't think it will. With the direction they've been going, Rockstar doesn't need to. There's going to be a microtransaction system in the next Red Dead Redemption 2. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. They might do the same approach as Grand Theft Auto 5 because it literally prints money. And I can't blame them for it, but I wish they wouldn't. So, really, not that long a video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Red Dead Redemption 2. If you guys think I'm batshit crazy, because I think Grand Theft Auto 4 is better than Grand Theft Auto 5. And, you know, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I always need you guys to have a Fanta-tastic day. See ya. Really good. This is called a Chocolips. It's a Apocalypse chocolate porter. A Chocolips. It's from Prescott Brewing Company. So I don't know if you guys can get it in your neck of the woods, but maybe. I don't know. It was brewed in Arizona. That's where I'm from. So I don't know. Prescott's a cool place.